That's kind of where the journey started for the Navy. And keep in mind, I am 26, 27 at this time.
Yeah, that's old.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
old, bro. Yeah. So
It is.
what year was this, man, when you went and saw the recruiter?
I want to say 2015.
Okay. Okay. So
And
you had plenty of resources in 2015 when it came to SEALs and all the entire military. I mean, there were a lot of resources available then. So were you familiar with the SEAL teams before you even walked in that door?
I mean, I had heard of them,
Yeah.
growing up in a Catholic school, everybody's expected to go to some great college, be a
Hmm.
lawyer, doctor, whatever. So military presence, like the recruiters and stuff, they were never at my high school growing up, which looking back, I kind of really hate and regret. And I always wonder what life would look like if I had a team guy come
Hmm.
to my school and introduce himself early on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ah, I don't know, man. It was cool. I've always shoot for the stars and fall where I may fall.
Hmm.
And they asked me about the SEAL, the SEAL, whatever they called it. If I wanted to try the SEAL tryouts, and gave me the pamphlet.
Hmm.
Looking at the pull-ups, the sit-ups, the run, and all the other shit. And then I see a swim. It says 500 meters. And I'm from Tucson, bro. I know the doggy paddle in the pool. That's about it. So I'm like, I don't even know what 500 meters looks like in a pool, but I figured it out, got on YouTube, figured out the combat side stroke, and I got my PST taken care of over at Davis Monthan Air Force Base in
Okay.
Tucson.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
So why the Navy, man, and not the Army? If your buddy was joining the Army, because you could have went, Ranger Pipeline or SF, right off the street. Like, what was it about the Navy? I know you said they were nice, and it kind of reminds you of the Catholic school, but I mean, for the viewers that are watching right now that may not know, I mean, let's break it down like this: like the Navy, there's a really small chance you're going to get through buds, and then most guys end up on a boat if you don't get through SEAL training. But in the Army, you can still be in the infantry if you don't get through, the Ranger Pipeline or SF. So I'm just curious, man, like what was it about the Navy that just like drew you in?
I love that you asked that question. And, on this windy road that I was on, and all the money that my family had spent, and outside relatives sending me to a private school to get some education. You're asking me what about the Navy drew me in?
Mm-hmm.
And besides the prestigiousness of it, I think it was the title of a Navy SEAL. And the reason being is because I didn't accomplish anything. I didn't go to a good 4-year college to make my mom and dad proud. Um, I wanted my mom to walk around with their head held high when they ask, what's Cruzz doing these days? Because all those country club moms that I had to be around growing up in that kind of world
Yeah.
as a kid were always talking about what little Johnny was doing or what little Bobby was doing. And well, what's Cruzz up to?
Yeah.
Most of those parents knew I was an athlete, but knew I was into drugs and drinking, partying, didn't really have I had no path forward and they could see that.
Yeah.
So now when I finally got my bird and shot for the stars there with the Navy, those ladies still, they come up to my mom now and ask, hey, how's Cruiser doing?
Yeah.
And yeah, my mom goes, yeah, he's good. He's Navy SEAL. He's over on SEAL Team 3.
Nice.
And man, the pride I feel right
Yeah.
here, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my mom doesn't have to feel fucking belittled, dude, by these
Right.
other ladies, man.
Yeah.
Not even caring what I'm up to, dude.
Right.
They could give
Right.
two shits. It's
Yeah.
to make my mom feel away, bro.
That's
And
awesome.
that was the determining factor, bro. That and I've seen what the civilian life had to offer with no
Hmm.
college education. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I knew what a 9 to 5 was going to look like for me, bro, and it wasn't fucking sexy.
No.
So when I
No.
signed up, dude, there was
Yeah.
no plan B for me having
Yeah.
one side. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
No, that's I'm glad you shared that, man, because everybody has their own reasons. And I want to ask you this, Cruz. I ask pretty much every veteran that comes on here that talks about their faith and growing up in the church. So you had an upbringing where you're in Catholic school, you're going through the ritualistic type of denomination, for lack of better words. I know you had Bible lessons, you had all that. So when you decided to join the Navy, I mean, let's be honest, dude. Anybody that joins the military, that's probably one of the biggest decisions they make in their life, especially to go into special operations. Was God in that decision in your mind at all? Or did faith play a role when you said, hey, I'm going to go be a SEAL? I'm going to go do the hardest thing I can find in the military?
I would lie to you if I say God was in the thought process when all this was going down.
Mm-hmm.
However, I love to look back and see where I am today and how I got here. And with that question right there, I think God was pulling the strings in different ways for me to slowly find this path to where it was the biggest decision I had to make.
Yeah.
And I remember signing up with the Navy and finally doing everything and then coming home and being like, my mom being like, well, what'd you do today? Well, I signed up for the Navy. You did what? First, I think it was, how many bong rips did you take today, Cruz? And I was laughing. I said, no, I'm going to do it. And sure as shit, we had a good little laugh right there, and they didn't believe it, but they saw the time and shit that I put in.
Yeah.
And once I made up my mind, bro, it was fucking ready to rock and roll, dude.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And the reason I asked that question is personal for me because I was raised in the church my whole life, and I joined the military for more selfish reasons, more pride, and I was chasing the same thing, man. But I didn't put God in that decision like I should have, and I think he gave me a taste of it, and then it wasn't my path, but that was his way, I think, of showing me like, hey, I'm going to show this to you, even though you're not talking to me right now, but I'm going to show it to you, but this ain't for you, man. And so I had to learn humility, and I had to go through some pretty bad, intense times in my life to finally realize, okay, that wasn't my path. I can make peace with it. Like what I was sharing before we came on the air, it really was the root cause of most of my self-sabotage, man. Like I could not deal with it. Like I just could not. My whole family is special operations. So for me, that was like, I wanted it so bad, dude. So I just like to ask veterans when they come on, like, especially growing up with that kind of upbringing, like if that plays a role, in that decision, because that's a huge decision to make, especially I know you were 26, but still, that's a big decision.
Yeah. And, we say 26 or 27 when I made this decision. However, bro, I'm still maturing, dude. I wasn't even mature at 26 or 27 when I wanted to make this decision. I'm making decisions by the seat of my pants. And I really needed something to lock me into a job for 5 to 6 years, bro.
Yeah.
Something I couldn't run and jump or run away from. I needed that structure. I needed that consistent payment. And who's better to give that to you than Uncle Sam?
Right. Totally, man. Totally. So I want to ask this, and we won't stay in this lane too long, but I got to ask you this. I got two good questions for you about buds. Cause I mean, let's be honest, unless you really want to share a boot camp story, I don't think a lot of people want to hear much about Navy boot camp. But was when you got to buds, man, was it what you expected? Were you surprised at the level? Because I know for me, the mental piece was really pushed hard, and I joined in 06. And when I got there, it was, and this probably sounds dumb to people watching this, it was way more physical than I expected. And I was a marathon runner. Like I thought I was prepared, but I wasn't prepared for the stupid ass beat downs. And I was an O. So, I was an O, and I know how O's are looked at in that community. So it was like, well, it was like tenfold, man. Like, because it was like, I was 26, believe it or not, when I got there.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like kind of the old man of the O crew. And I was shocked, man. I really was. I knew it would be hard. I did. I'd been out there before, and I thought, man, this is going to be tough. But was it what you expected, dude, when you checked in, like as far as what you kind of knew about it before you got there?
Man, for a guy who got C's my whole life and skated by, I did a little research going into this. And the biggest thing for me at the time, I think, was that Bud's class 234, whatever it was.
Yeah, Discovery Channel.
That gave me a glimpse of like in the life of what day to day would be like. And then I really followed one program. It was called 12 Weeks to Buds by Stu Smith.
Yeah, I had that book.
Brother, I followed that like it was the Bible, man. And it's a crawl, walk, run process. And anybody who's ever talked to me about joining the community or the teams, I push that book all the time. But yes, what people don't know are the beat downs on the in between, right? You might be able to pass your 4-mile time run, your 2-mile ocean swim, your obstacle course. I mean, those numbers are passable for anybody, bro.
Yeah.
It's the beat downs in between, man, that make your body not want to work on those different events, shall we say.
Yeah.
But it was everything I thought it was. I told myself if I could get through Hell Week, game over, I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, man. Little did I know, second phase kicked me in the nuts. I actually got rolled, man. There's a 20-minute test there, and I didn't get past, I think, 45 seconds. 4 attempts.
Wow.
Past 45 seconds. And I got a silver bullet, dude, and got to come back in the next class, bro. And fucking dude, I'll tell you then, I was praying. I was on my knees praying every night, man.
Was that pool comp? Is that what you're talking about?
That was pool comp, yes, sir. And I knew nothing about it, bro, because it wasn't really delivered in 2, 3, 4 the way it's delivered in person, dude.
Yeah. I knew a lot of good dudes, man, that washed out because of pool comp, like officers that I knew, like guys that you looked at and thought that dude's a SEAL, like that dude's going to be like Captain America, and they didn't make it. You're like, what?